Hi everyone, my name is Mabel. I live in a beautiful home with the perfect family in my favorite city. But recently, my world has been turned upside down, and it happened after I accidentally crawled under my parents' bed and found something I should never have known. Or at least not until I was 18. Listen to this whole story. There will be the best part at the end. Afterwards, you'll definitely be having second thoughts before looking under mom and dad's bed. So, my family and I lived in a small, cozy town. I have two younger sisters, a brother, and a whole bunch of pets. Mom and dad work, and I recently started high school. I certainly can't be called popular, but I've never been a loser either. Anyway, I was satisfied with my life. At least until I was playing with my dog, and the ball rolled into my parents' bedroom. I went looking for it, not even knowing what I would find there. Looking around on the floor, I realized that the ball had rolled under the bed. And I bent down and reached under the bed. It was dusty, dirty, and there were a lot of old things under the bed that no one cared about and had been there for years. I fumbled for the ball, but it rolled up behind the box. So I pulled it out and was able to get the ball out. I was about to leave when I suddenly noticed that there was a sealed box that had my name written on it. This must be my stuff, I thought, but why would my parents keep it under their bed? Exhausted with curiosity, I opened the box, but suddenly I heard the front door of the house open. You'll find out what happened next in a minute. But for now, please don't forget to like this video and subscribe to this channel. And make sure you have the bell clicked. Then you'll know when there's a new video coming out on the channel. It's my parents coming in from work, and I didn't want them to think that I was going through their stuff on purpose, so I shoved the box back in. I ran out to my room and pretended like nothing had happened. But I couldn't stop thinking about it. I wondered why the box with my name on it was under their bed. No other boxes with my sisters' or brothers' names were there, so why mine? What could have been in there? I told myself that I shouldn't go through other people's things, and maybe the fact that my name was on the box was an accident, and there were, in fact, things of my mom and dad that I shouldn't see. But what if they weren't? Eventually, I couldn't stand it. After waiting until no one was home, I ran into my parents' bedroom. Taking a box from under the bed, I opened it. At first, I grimaced in disappointment. There was nothing interesting in it. Some papers, tapes, and a small stuffed toy. I thought it was just a box of bank statements and checks. When suddenly, I noticed my name on them. It said Mabel everywhere. And it had my measurements, height, and birth weight. I picked up the documents and started reading into the gist. It wasn't like a hospital discharge form or a questionnaire of happy parents from about the baby's details as a keepsake. It was something else entirely. An adoption questionnaire. Yes. I found out that I was adopted. My mom and dad took me back from the maternity ward, where another woman gave birth to me. So I don't remember anything. I found out the name of my real mother, and found that she rejected me. It was very painful for me to read this, but I pulled myself together and started looking for more information. In other places in our house, I found documents, hospital statements for my sisters and brother. All three were my parents' siblings. I concluded that after getting married, My dad and mom couldn't have children right away and adopted me. And then, a few years later, they had my sisters and brother. Now everything has changed for me. I feel like my parents treat me differently than their own children. I want to talk to my parents and ask them why they adopted me. Why didn't they tell me about it until now? It's so hard, but I'm afraid. I'm afraid to bring it up. And anyway, I shouldn't have looked in that box. I had a happy, carefree life before. And now, what would you do if you were me? Would you discuss it with your parents or would you keep quiet? Write in the comments. I want your opinion.
Hi, I'm Betsy. Let me tell you a story that ruined my life. But you better let me tell you everything from the beginning. My dad once became interested in exploring his genealogical tree, his ancestry, and one day he announced to my mom and me that he had ordered a DNA test for all of us. He said it would be interesting and informative. I was excited, but my mom reacted very strangely. She waved her hands and started resenting that. No need for any test, it's very expensive. And why share such personal information with some laboratory? My dad and I looked at each other. We shrugged our shoulders, but the point was that the test had already been ordered. And the next day, while mom was at work and dad was home on vacation, the delivery guy brought these tests to us. We quickly did the tests and started waiting for the results. A couple of days later, they appeared in the mail. Dad found out that he was 30% German, 55% Danish, and 15% English. In principle, this was to be expected, but when he opened my results, he was shocked that I am 50% Spanish like my mother, but 50% French. How? Why is Betsy half French? My dad was pestering my mom. You cheated on me? So Betsy isn't my daughter? Mom nodded her head in denial and cried, and then admitted to Dad that she had had an affair with a Frenchman while they were in Paris for the weekend. Dad was crushed by the news. He packed up Mom's things and kicked her out of the house. He soon filed for divorce. I can't tell you how hard this is for me. I tried to talk to Dad, but he wouldn't listen to me and wouldn't forgive Mom. He said he loved me anyway and will continue loving me no matter what. But Mom, she betrayed him. Mom rented an apartment in a different neighborhood. And when she got settled in a little bit, I decided to have a serious talk with her. Honestly, I was afraid to hear the truth, but I had no other choice. At first, my mother was reluctant, crying, but then she gave in and told me everything. Before I continue, don't forget to like this video and subscribe to my channel. And make sure you have clicked on the bell. And then you'll know when there's a new video coming out on the channel. Turns out my mom and dad, as soon as they got married, wanted kids right away. They loved each other very much and thought that a child would be an extension of their love. But it didn't work out. For a month, a year, and then 9 years, Mom couldn't get pregnant. And seeing how Dad was suffering from not being able to have a baby, she took a risk. And during their weekend in Paris, she accidentally met a Frenchman in a hotel bar and spent the night with him. Dad was sick at the time. He was in his room, and he didn't suspect anything. Well, when he found out that Mom was pregnant, he was extremely happy. And now that horrible DNA test had ruined everything. Our family, our life. Mom covered her face with her hands and wept bitterly. I didn't know what to say to her. The only phrase that came to mind was that time will heal the pain. 6 months had passed since then. I spent my weekends with my mom, but I live with my dad all the time. He and my mother do not communicate. I feel very hurt and bad about it. But Dad keeps telling me not to worry. The main thing is that both my mom and dad love me very much. I hope they will reconcile after this. Or at least they will start talking. I'm glad that Dad didn't turn his back on me because I love him so much. He raised me. That's why he is my real dad. What do you think of the story? Any advice on how I can get back together my mom and dad? Write your opinion. I'm really looking forward to it.